For centuries, Troy was nothing more than a legend, a timeless story of gods, heroes, and an epic war, immortalized by Homer in the Iliad. A tale of a decade-long siege, a wooden horse, and the tragic fall of a great city. We've all heard the names: Achilles, Hector, Helen, Paris. Their saga has echoed through millennia, shaping art, literature, and our very idea of heroism. But what if Troy wasn't just a myth? What if the fabled city, with its high walls and brave warriors, was a real place? What if archaeologists actually found it, buried beneath the earth for more than 3,000 years? This is the story of how fiction became fact, of how a childhood dream fueled a relentless quest to uncover one of history's greatest mysteries. This is the story of the real Troy, and what researchers have truly unearthed beneath the sands of time. Our journey begins not with an army, but with one man, Heinrich Schliemann, a German businessman who became obsessed with Homer's epics as a boy. Schliemann was convinced that the Iliad was not just a poem, but a historical account. He believed, with an almost fanatical certainty, that the city of Troy could be found. In the 19th century, this was a radical idea. Most scholars dismissed the Trojan War as pure fantasy, but Schliemann poured his immense fortune and unwavering energy into proving them wrong. Guided by the geographical clues in the Iliad, he focused his search on a specific hill in northwestern Turkey called Hisarlik. Homer described Troy as a windswept place, located near the Dardanelles Strait, with two rivers flowing nearby. Hisarlik fit the description perfectly. In 1871, Schliemann began to dig. What he found would change our understanding of the ancient world forever. As his teams dug deeper and deeper into the mound of Hisarlik, they didn't find just one city. They found a layer cake of history. 9 distinct cities, built one on top of the other over thousands of years, each with its own story of construction, life, and destruction. Schliemann, in his passionate haste, famously blasted through several of these upper layers with dynamite, eager to reach what he believed was the Troy of Homer's time, the very bottom layer. He designated the second layer from the bottom, which we now call Troy II, as the city of King Priam. It was here he made his most spectacular discovery, a cache of gold and precious artifacts he dramatically named Priam's treasure. It included golden diadems, rings, bracelets, and intricate vessels. He even famously had his wife Sophia photographed wearing the jewels of Helen. For Schliemann, this was the ultimate proof. He had found Homer's Troy. But here's the twist. He was wrong. Later archaeologists, using more refined dating methods, realized that Troy II, the layer with the magnificent treasure, was far too old. It dated to around 2500 BC, more than 1,000 years before the estimated time of the Trojan War. Schliemann, in his ambition, had dug right past the city he was looking for. So if Troy II wasn't Homer's Troy, which one was? The focus then shifted to other layers, particularly the ones known as Troy VI and Troy VII. Troy VI was a magnificent city. It flourished from around 1750 to 1300 BC, a period that aligns much better with the late Bronze Age setting of the Iliad. The archaeological evidence from this layer is breathtaking. It reveals a powerful, wealthy citadel with imposing defensive walls, some nearly 16 feet thick and towering over 30 feet high. These weren't just walls, they were a statement of power. They even had a slight slope, perfectly matching Homer's description of Troy's well-built walls. The city had grand houses, a complex street plan, and evidence of a thriving population. Troy VI was clearly a major player in the ancient world, a strategic hub controlling access between the Aegean and the Black Sea. But then, around 1300 BC, disaster struck. The evidence points to a massive earthquake. The mighty walls show cracks and signs of collapse consistent with seismic activity, not a human siege. Troy VI was ruined, but not by the Achaean army. This is where the story gets even more fascinating. The survivors quickly rebuilt on the ruins, creating the city we now call Troy VIIa. And this city, Troy VIIa, is the leading candidate for the historical Troy of the Trojan War. It's different from its predecessor. The grand houses were subdivided into smaller, more crowded living spaces. The people crammed themselves inside the citadel walls, and they even buried large storage jars, or pithoi, into the floors of their homes. Why would they do this? Storing massive amounts of food and water inside the city walls points to one thing. They were preparing for a siege. They were expecting an attack. And then comes the most compelling evidence of all. Troy Sevena came to a violent and fiery end around 1180 BC. Archaeologists have found widespread evidence of burning, layers of ash and debris, and scattered bronze arrowheads, some of which were found embedded in the walls. Human skeletons were discovered lying unburied in the streets, a clear sign of a catastrophic event, not a peaceful abandonment. The city was sacked, looted, and burned to the ground. The timeline, the evidence of a siege, and the violent destruction all align remarkably well with the legendary tale of the fall of Troy. While there's no giant wooden horse, that was likely a poetic embellishment, the core elements of the story are all there. A powerful, fortified city, a long and desperate conflict, and a final devastating destruction. Modern archaeology, led by figures like Manfred Korfmann in the late 20th century, has expanded our view even further. Using techniques like magnetic prospecting, researchers discovered a vast lower city spreading out below the citadel. This wasn't just a small fortress. It was a sprawling metropolis, covering an area perhaps 10 times larger than the citadel itself, protected by a massive defensive ditch. This discovery transformed our understanding of Troy from a modest stronghold into a major Bronze Age capital, one truly worthy of an epic 10-year war. So, what does this all mean? It means Homer wasn't just a storyteller. He was a poet preserving the memory of real historical events passed down through generations of oral tradition. The details may have been embellished, the gods and goddesses added for dramatic flair, but at its heart, the Iliad is rooted in the real history of a real city. The archaeology at Hisarlik doesn't prove that Helen was abducted, or that Achilles battled Hector outside the city gates. But it does prove that a great city, matching Homer's description, existed and was destroyed in a manner consistent with war at the end of the Bronze Age. The search for Troy is a testament to the power of stories and the persistence of human curiosity. It shows us that sometimes the greatest legends are not just legends at all. They are echoes of a real past, waiting to be rediscovered. The dusty hill of Hisarlik holds more than just ruins. It holds the meeting point of myth and reality, where the songs of ancient poets are confirmed by the archaeologists' trowel. The city of Troy, once lost to legend, has been found. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible journey back in time. If you enjoyed uncovering the secrets of the past, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.